All right, let's talk about some white wines that you can build your cellar with. I don't know if that made sense. Build your cellar. You're not necessarily building your cellar. You're building a wine collection in a cellar. We've talked a bunch about reds. Everybody always talks about reds being the wines to buy and cellar for the long term. But let's talk about white wines that, can age and are just simply delicious wines, even whether you drink them now or let them age for 40 years. So first thing that comes to mind is really good German Riesling. And whether it's primarily from the Mosel, but there are plenty of really good German wines that you can put in your cellar for years and years and years. And when I say 40 years, I am not exaggerating. These wines can age that long. I think one of the reasons is that they just have such high acid that it helps with the aging process and preserving the wine. Another area that I would recommend, for a wine cellar, but also wine that I buy for cellaring is from Vouvray, which is a Chenin Blanc based wine from the French appellation of Vouvray. They are fantastic, now, and they're fantastic, 10 years from now. I've had a little experience with that, so I'm speaking from experience, and I think that's it's worthy advice you should take. The next couple are going to be a little out of the ordinary. I think Assyrtiko wines from Greece have a lot of aging possibility or potential. I don't have a lot of experience with it. It's something I'm starting to experiment with now, but don't overlook Assyrtiko as a possible wine to age. Gruner Veltliners, especially from like the Wachau. I mean, most of the good Gruners come from that region. If you can find a Smaragd, label on the label, that those wines are the top wines to put in your cellar for Gruners. And Gruners, if they age over time, they're really delicious. The next two I think are fairly well understood in a California Chardonnay and then wines from Chablis. But I think when I think of white wines to put in your cellar, I think California Chardonnay probably gets enough pub because of the big nature and just their reputation. But Chablis is an area that I am concentrating on now, and it's something that I've had good experiences with in the past, aging those wines. I've found that they get a little bigger as the wines age, right? They're very steely and clean to begin with. I just feel, and they get a little bigger and a little more weight as they age. Last thing to talk about is do not be scared of screw caps, because you can age wines under screw caps, especially whites, because that's where you'll find a little bit more of that. Don't be scared of it. I mean, I'm not saying that you go and you buy some, Sauvignon, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc and try to age it, because that's just not what those wines are really meant to be. But again, you see some German Riesling, you see some Gruner, you see an Assyrtiko, it's under a screw cap, you're good to go. So I hope this was valuable to you. It more or less wraps up the basics for building out your wine collection. I'm going to get into, in a few videos, I'm going to get into much more detail on, the wines that I am specifically basically buying right now. I'm not buying all of them, but, I sort of have a list that I'm focusing on to, build my cellar back up now that I have a spot to store some wine. Hope everyone stays well, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.